Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Monday, July 29th, 2024. I, of course, am here with your daily mortgage rate update, the only place on the web where you guys get to join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, coming to you still from the ocean. We decided to stay an extra day. So, anyway, good morning, y'all. Here to talk about what's going on this week. It's going to be a big week. Remember, you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, as we broadcast on Facebook and YouTube. If you watch on the replay, don't forget to give me a hashtag replay. Let me know that you are here, and feel free to jump forward and get to the good stuff, whether you're here live or on the replay. Don't forget to smash that like button, tag an hello friend, share us in a group. Let's go ahead and say hi to the live folks. Who we got here this morning? We got Megan Lindberg, Brandy Brickler. Good morning. Bobby Searcy, great to see you. Ron Siegel. Good morning, sir. National Lasagna Day. Your stomach is ready to rumble. Good play on my text message there. National Lasagna Day. I can get behind that one. Love me some lasagna. Here's a question of the day. Who is the cat that loved lasagna? Let's see who can get that one first. Who was the cat that loved lasagna? Morning, Derek and Kelly Cargill. Angela, good morning, Yasmin. Mr. Bashirs, good morning, sir. Mr. Einkorn, great to see you. Alexandria, good morning. Ron said, am I in the witness protection? Yeah, that's what it is, man. I'm protecting my identity. That's right. It was Garfield. First one I see on there is Robert. Lisa also nailed it. Derek, you can tell we're all Gen X, aren't we? A lot of us. We all remember Garfield. Of course, the cat that loved lasagna. So, all right, my friends, let's go ahead and get into the good stuff here. I'm not going to take too long this morning. And let me switch to, let's see, let's try this. All right, good. So this will show you what's going on. So right now, mortgage bonds, 101.13. They're plus 9 basis points on the day. If you could look here at this candlestick chart, you'll see back here on Friday, July 12th was the last time that we closed at 101.15. And before that, we go all the way back here to the end of January before we were actually above that. And I'm going to move this chart to a 1 year chart. Take a look at this. Actually, you know what? We'll stay at the 1 year. We have not been up to this level since back in December, right? The 101.15, you can see here that we're testing again. We are ready to watch this break. Remember, this is, of course, a very big week. We've got a lot going on this week. This is, of course, the Fed week. We've got the Fed meeting coming up on Wednesday. There's nothing going on today. So today, rate sheets should be probably about the best you've seen in quite a while. A little bit better than Friday. Not much, but at least a little bit better than Friday. There's not a lot going on today. There's no economic data. I'm going to show you a bunch of other things, but tomorrow we're going to get the JOLTS data. We're going to get consumer confidence. Consumer confidence not going to get nearly as much attention this week, but it is still pretty important report because it shows, basically it's a lead in to consumer spending, and consumer spending is what drives our economy. So tomorrow we're going to get the JOLTS data. Right now, they are looking at about 800,000 job openings, and the less openings, then basically the labor market's getting weaker. The more openings, the labor market is stronger. So the JOLTS data are going to be important. On Wednesday, we get the ADP data. Nobody's going to really pay attention to that. Of course, Wednesday is going to be the Fed meeting. Fed Chair Jerome Powell, his press conference. We're looking for a dovish lean on that, where the Fed basically, points out that there's enough data, or that they're data dependent, but that they're balancing. They're going to basically start to signal that we're going to see that cut in September, which is what markets are pricing in anyway. And then, of course, on Thursday, we have jobless claims aren't going to be much of anything. Friday, of course, the BLS jobs data, the big report, especially coming off of what the Fed says. When the Fed says that they're data dependent or that they're concerned, they're going to talk about being concerned about the labor market. Fed is got a dual mandate, maximum employment, and then pricing security, or stability, which is inflation, right? So this week, it's definitely going to be a very, very big week. Let me show you some things. I'm going to throw the screen back on so you guys can see here, right? So taking a look here, wanted to show you a few things. A lot of the headlines are leaning towards the idea that the Fed is going to hold rates at the July meeting. And then you can see here, steady one last time, and then look to cut rates starting in September. That's what markets are pricing in as well. Markets currently pricing in the idea that the Fed going to go ahead and keep rates the same at this meeting, 5.25, overwhelming expectation. Then there is the idea that we will see our first rate cut in September. There is nobody pricing in the idea that the markets will stay, or that the Fed will stay where they're at right now. The question is, will it be a quarter point rate cut, which is what 90% of the market believes, or there's some side bets going on that there could be even a bigger rate cut of a half a point, because we are seeing signs that the market is weakening. And, again, there's all the talk of politics. None of that really matters. We really see what's going on here. November, again, expectations now that we're going to see 2 rate cuts. There's a 1/3 belief that we will take a pause in November. 2/3 believe we're going to see that second rate cut, that the Fed is going to have to start cutting and keep cutting. In December, expectations overwhelmingly, again, 4.5%. That would be 3 cuts for the year. Remember, we went with the idea that we're going to see 6 or 7 cuts early in the year. That's what markets are pricing in. Then the Fed said, hey, we're going to do 2 or 1 cut at the last meeting. Markets started pricing in 2 cuts. Now the market says, you're not going to get away with just 2 cuts, Fed. You're going to need to do 3 cuts. There's about a 65% expectation that we're going to see those 3 cuts. This is what's driving markets. Now, take a look here. Wall Street Journal article from Nick Timiraos. We know that he is the Fed whisperer. We know that he basically is the mouthpiece right before the meeting. What we see Nick say, the Fed rate cut is finally within view. Central bank officials meet in the coming week, looking ahead to a September rate cut to maximize chances of a soft landing. Now, again, there are some that would argue that Nick doesn't have the inside info, but a lot of us argue he does. We call him the Fed whisperer. The idea here is that he is basically the first step in telling the markets what the Fed is going to do this week. All right. So he's very clear right in the first paragraph. While Fed Reserve officials aren't likely to change interest rates this coming week, their meeting will nonetheless be one of the most consequential in a while. And that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping that it is consequential, that it confirms the direction that the Fed is going, and that's going to help mortgage rates to improve. Now, here's the deal, though. I'm coming here so I can see your comments again. The real thing is that you've got to remember that markets are already pricing in a September rate cut, a November rate cut is a high possibility, and 3 cuts in December. We could see more strength in that November and December idea of more rate cuts, but we're not going to see mortgage rates just instantaneously drop from here. They're not going to go from right now. We would see Mortgage News Daily showing us basically 6 7/8, 6 3/4. We're not going to see them drop to 5, but they will probably drop. I think we're going to see rates drop about a quarter point this week, maybe a little bit more. I would not be locking any loans. If you floated to this point, the only reason you should be locking a loan is if it's closing in the next week or so. If you need to lock to get it closed, or if the ratios are so tight you can't take any risk, which, of course, why would you be floating that loan anyway? So anything closing in the next 15 to 30 or 30 plus days, I would not even remotely consider locking before the Fed meeting. The nice thing about the Fed meeting happens during the middle of the day. The press conference is in the afternoon. We get to go ahead and float into that meeting, see how the markets react, see if there is some kind of a negative surprise. I do not think that markets are over optimistic this time around. I think we're pretty smooth on where we're at on this. So as Ron pointed out, nobody is paying attention to the ADP report. They're too accurate on the small business numbers, and BLS is off by about 90% of that number over the past year. Very much so. I get you. Very much so. But it's still the one that everybody pays attention to is the BLS. So good morning, Amy, Mark, Aldrina. Great to see all of you. So anyway, again, we are definitely floating. Today should be a quiet day. If you had anything that for any reason was totally risk averse that you had to lock, today's a good day to do it. Other than that, I would not consider locking anything. We want to be floating into Wednesday's fireworks. Let's see what the Fed has to do for us. Tomorrow, we're going to get a little bit of movement. We've got the JOLTS data, the consumer confidence. Not going to be big market movers, but it could move things a little bit. So if you were locking, today is the day to lock, but I wouldn't lock anything. I would absolutely, at this point now, we are in the thick of it. We want to see where the Fed meeting goes. We want to see where that jobs data goes. And then we've got a couple of weeks to get the next CPI report where we could see another dip lower. But this is what we've been waiting for. But again, is it another false start? We've been here before. We thought we were going to see things improve, and they just didn't improve much. I think we're okay this time, though. And again, I don't think you're going to see any huge rate drops. I think at the end of the week, we're a quarter point better at most, unless there was some super weak labor data on Friday. Then we'd be about 3/8 of a point. I don't think we're really going to see that again. I think we're going to see a nice consistent drop, kind of hold for a while, drop, kind of hold for a while, which I think will be good for the markets. Will be good for us, good for loans. So all right, my friends, get a good look. I changed rooms though, so now we're up on the 7th floor, and there's a nice view of the ocean, nice and clear today, and then we're driving home. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make it a fantastic day. Bye-bye.